What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show is Value of You. I'm actually a medical doctor who became Access Consciousness Facilitator, as well as Akashic Record teacher and founder of a School of Akashic Record. I wear multiple hats, including 3-day body facilitator, being you facilitator, podcast host, as well as a published author. And I invite people to a totally different possibility with their health, with their money, and relationship through private session classes, which I do around the world, and using tools of Access Consciousness, Akashic Records, and many, many other things that I've done along the way. So let's talk about value of you. And as we know, how much do you value who, what you are? Do you base your value on what you do or don't do? Do you base it on what other people's judgments of you? So let's play with that. And before the show, I decided to look up the meaning of value and what people talk about on the internet about the value and things like that. So there is about like 46 definitions of value. I picked a couple of them. The one is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness or something. So let's start with that. How often in your life, okay, I'm not going to talk about you, I'm going to talk about me. But I felt that I don't deserve certain things. Let's say I started with nothing pretty much because I grew up in Russia where everybody was equal except the government. Of course, my mom was a medical doctor and she actually was a chief of medical ward, internal medicine. And in Russia, doctors received at that time, and I'm not sure how much they do it now, but at that time, it was 100 rubles a month, which is equivalent probably to about $100, and $17 for being a chief of the medical ward, which was barely enough to support the family. And I'm talking about barely because mom was taking nights on call, extra hours just to supplement her income that we could survive, let alone no luxury. So when we moved here when I was 17, again, as refugees, because that's what we were, basically run away from Russia at that time because as Mr. Reagan, at that time president, called it an evil empire, and it was. It was a communist Russia where there was a lot of suppression, a lot of discrimination. So when we came as refugees, again, we didn't have much, thank God for the government and that supported us the first few months. And I started working. I was making $3 an hour. At that time, it was okay. It was minimum wages. And when I kind of went through college, medical school, became a doctor myself, and my mom became a doctor, I felt I didn't deserve the money. And of course, as soon as when I got married, as soon as me and my husband kind of like get some money, we would spend it. I did not realize that it was the kind of like the internal value that I grew up with that subconsciously influenced my future life pretty much. In Russia, people didn't have any value at that time. Pretty much, Mother Russia, the most important, everything is about government, country, individuals. Who cares about individuals? A few people die in the war, a few people die from hunger. Nobody cared. So, with not having me as having a value, it kind of like created a weird sense because I did achieve quite a bit in my life. As I said, became a doctor, had my own practice, did a lot of things, and yet there was that nagging subconscious. I didn't know about that, but when through access consciousness, I was questioning a lot of things, and I found out that I had that nagging, I don't have any value. There is no value to my life. And how many of us actually, when we look at our lives, no matter how much we achieve, and part of why we keep achieving and achieving more and more is to prove that we have value, to prove to ourselves that we deserve to be happy, deserve to have joy, to deserve to be healthy. All of that is, and we actually propagate that on our kids. So what if it's biggest lie there is? What if we are so valuable that we don't need to prove anything? What if we are valuable just by being who we are, without the achievements? We don't need to achieve anything. Just by virtue of being, we already have the value. To me, that's been a big shift since I came to Access Consciousness, realizing that we don't need to prove anything. We don't need to do anything, have anything. Just by being, we are valuable. So with all of that, let's look at other things that people say, that values cost and price. So with that, looking at value of us, how much cost have we kind of like put on ourselves? The cost of suffering, like we have to pay our dues to society. We have to pay to deserve. All of that is tied to the same thing. We're not valuing ourselves. Well, maybe there are people who value themselves, but if you look at those people who think they value themselves, how much are they proving also that they are worth, that they have the price, that they paid enough to society, to family, to friends, to deserve what they have? And how many of them, by trying to prove that, inside they're still insecure? Inside there is still that nagging subconscious. How much am I worth? Do I deserve to live? Do I deserve everything I have? Do I deserve happiness? And then when we start asking that, we actually sabotage ourselves. When we kind of like, okay, I don't deserve that, somehow, somewhere, we create havoc in our lives to destroy it. I've done that. I've been there, done, have a t-shirt to show for it. Trust me. I've sabotaged myself so many times without even knowing that's where the underlying belief system is. Because our point of view creates our reality. It's as simple as it gets. So we have point of view of not deserving or not having value, not being worth of what we have, be not worth of our family, not worth of joy. All of that is creating that kind of like message to the universe. Hi, universe. I don't deserve that. Hi, universe. Please take it away. Universe doesn't have any points of view. Universe does what we tell her. Universe always has our back. So if we choose happiness, if we choose joy, if we choose greatness, it always creates that. And yet, if we're afraid of something, if we have a point of view we don't deserve, if we have a point of view it will be taken away, guess what? We prove ourselves correct or right. A lot of it stems from proving ourselves right. See, I was right, I wasn't deserving. See, I was right, I don't have the right to have that. See, I didn't pay for it, so I cannot have it. And by payment, a lot of times it's pain, suffering, it's some kind of like have to, what we call obligations. And what if that's a lie too? What if there shouldn't be any cost? What if it's just about being who we are? And I just noticed it's time for our first break of the show. When we'll return, we'll talk more about the value of us. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choice Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show is Value of You. And before we went on a break, we were talking about how our point of view of not being worth it, not having value, influences our lives, and how we sabotage our lives based on that. Because our point of view creates our reality. So if we have a point of view we're not worthy, we're saying to the universe, no, thank you to anything, and we are not receiving. And is it actually true? No, we are worthy of just being. Have the value just by being who we are. And we don't need to prove anything. We don't have to do anything. I love the tool in Access Consciousness. The question of, do you deserve to breathe? And people say, yes, I do deserve to breathe. Or you just breathe, just be. Can you stop breathing? Well, if you stop breathing, you'll die, right? But even if you try to stop breathing, try to hold your breath. Probably can hold it for a minute, maybe a couple of minutes if you're a diver, maybe even a little longer, but then your body needs to breathe. And you just breathe. Just take a deep breath right now. Breathe in and breathe out. When you're breathing in, how much value do you have? Is it worth your breath? Oh, yeah. What if it's everything in your life is like that? You just breathe it in. So let's play with that. Let's do a little meditation. You can close your eyes if you're at home, laying down or sitting up, because I know some people listening to me and love to relax. Or if you're driving, please do not close your eyes. Or if you're working, please don't close your eyes, especially if you're operating a heavy machinery, just like with drugs. Meditation is a little bit similar to drugs because it does alter your consciousness somewhat. So you might not be kind of like reactive the same way as when you're not meditating. So just be aware of that. So just notice where you are and take a deep breath and breathe out. Try to breathe out as much as you breathe in, as much air. Empty your lungs completely. Take another deep breath in. And breathe it out. And notice how the breath, how the air is going into your lungs and nourishes you. Just be aware of your body in this moment. Take another deep breath in. Feel your diaphragm going down a little bit and then breathe out. Feel the diaphragm going up a little bit. Just notice the cells in your body, how they get the oxygen moving in and out of the cells as you breathe. Take another deep breath in and breathe it out. While you're doing that, I know it's multitasking and asking you to multitask. Open your crown and allow the light go in while you're taking a deep breath. And while you're breathing out, pull energy from earth and allow it to go through your feet and go up through your body and out through your crown. When you breathe in, pull the energy of the universe through your head, through your body and out of your feet into the earth. And when you breathe out, pull the energy of earth through your feet and let it go out of your head. Mix those energies in your heart and allow it to expand with your breath. Every time you take a deep breath, allow the energy to collect a little bit more in your heart and move out as a ball of energy through your pores of your skin and out into the universe. And you don't have to deep breathe anymore. Don't hyperventilate. Just allow the breath to return to normal and concentrate on the energy moving in through the top of your head and through your feet. And allow it, keep expanding, maybe a mile or a kilometer, 10 miles, 10 kilometers, 100 miles, 100 kilometers, 1,000 miles, 1,000 kilometers, and keep expanding it into 100,000 miles to infinity. Make yourself as big as the whole universe and beyond. And see yourself in the full glory of that expansion. You expand it right now. You're bigger than the universe. How much value do you have? Do not contract into your body or even parts of your body. Keep being that energy. And now from that space, ask, universe, what can I receive today? And what awareness can I receive? What energy can I receive? What gifts can I receive? And allow yourself to receive those. And ask, what can I contribute now to the universe, to our planet, to everybody in the universe? Oh, but you don't have a value, right? Ha ha. See how much value you have by just being? How much you can contribute to the universe? Not just to people, but to the whole planet, to every star, every planet in our galaxy and beyond. How much value do you have now? What if that's your value? Beyond anything that you can possibly imagine. What if you're greater than you possibly can imagine? Just allow yourself to be. And what if that's what is required today? And what if it doesn't even require? What if it's about what you choose now? What you're willing to give, what you're willing to be, what you're willing to receive. And what if receiving is the biggest gift you can be? In Access Consciousness, we talk a lot, and actually in Akashic Records, we talk a lot about gifting and receiving simultaneously, which is called contribution. And when you actually receive, you're gifting. When you're gifting, you're receiving. It's not gift and give and take system of this world. And what if you stop choosing that? What if you actually allow yourself to be the gift you are and to have that value? I always think of like the gift wrap things and like things in the store. And there is a cartoon in Russia called Chiburashka. It's about a toy, a weirdest toy with big ears. It's plush toy. And it sings a song. I used to be a real weird toy in a store and nobody wanted to buy me until, and there is another character, Crocodile, until I became friends with a crocodile. And now I have a value because I am a unique toy. So how many of us actually look at the world and feel like we are that weird toy that doesn't have a value and nobody wants to buy us? And what if it's not about that? What if it's about just being who we are, uniqueness of us, and then we will have friends, we will have, and actually probably we have friends right now, and we don't even realize how much valuable we are. And we don't have to be bought or sold. What if we're just a gift to this universe? What if it's not about the cost that we have to prove that we are worth so people can buy us or get us or receive us? What if it's about us receiving us? What if it's about choosing to be all of us, to be the uniqueness and the value of us, that it's just there? No proving, no doing, just being. It doesn't mean we don't do anything, by the way, because people confuse that so many times with, oh, if I'm being, I'm doing nothing. No. Or if I'm doing nothing, I'm being. No. Seriously, doing nothing is still doing. You're just doing nothing. Being includes everything. Being is about doing or not doing, being, receiving, gifting, making, not making. It's the choice. It's about choosing what we will be or do next second with no point of view. It's about being an allowance, being in the moment of what is going on in our lives, and having ease, joy, and glory in our lives by the virtue that we are an allowance of it. By being in kind of like the space of everything is just an interesting point of view. Everything is as it should be. And it's actually time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about interesting point of view, allowance, and how much of that dictates the value of us or not having the value. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is value of you. In the first two parts of the show, we kind of explored in the first part the subconscious belief system that we don't have a value and how to get out of it. And in the second, we did a meditation kind of looking at how much bigger we are than we think we actually are, and that we don't have to be bought or understood or kind of like received by people to have value. And I've been facilitating classes around the world to kind of changing people's lives through Access Consciousness, Akashic Records, and I found out that a lot of it has to do with cultures, and all cultures are the same. They put almost like definitions of value, so people cannot even achieve whatever the standards they decided they have to be. On internet, I found out a little blurb about, I think it was, let me find it for a second. I have it in my notes. And it's called Winning Future Program. We teach students that their values matter. And a lot of time those values that people have, they dictate how much they value themselves. And they talk about 3 types of values they have to explore in order to create strategy for success. One of them is character value, and what they describe it, character values are universal values that you need to exist as a good human being. They are the core characters, and they include commitment, loyalty, positive attitude, and respect. So I don't deny those are good values and it's good to have those, but how much we place our own value on the character values, on work values, on personal values, and trying to prove that we do value based on those. And as I said in the beginning, what if you don't? What if you're just valuable just by being? And when we are in that space of being, everything else actually becomes easier. The positive attitude, the respect, the loyalty, or prestige, stability, like all of that kind of like comes out from valuing us and seeing what works for us, what doesn't work. And a lot of people put, if I have those values, then I'm valuable. No, it's the opposite. It's about choosing to value you, and then everything else follows. I do a lot of classes, as I said, and a few coming up. You can find out more about what I do on creatingabundancewithease.com website. Also, you can find, if you don't remember that, just by doing bit.ly, H. Gitlevich. And I'm doing a couple of classes coming up. One is a free webinar, Creating with Your Body. That's going to be tomorrow on 7/29 at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Part of the value, and we'll be talking about value in the webinar as much, probably if not more here, because a lot of times our value also comes from the body. And because we have to create with our body. We cannot do anything without the body. Because think of it, souls kind of like becomes ghosts when the body dies. Can an entity or a soul do anything without the body? Probably they can if they possess somebody, but they cannot do much in the physical world unless we have the body. And we ignore the body a lot of times, not having value for our body, not having value for us, translates into kind of like body is not valuable either. And by virtue of that, we abuse our body. We not taking care of the body the way it needs to be, like feeding not the food that the body likes. And I always talk about always asking the body, what would you like to eat? Body, what would you like to wear? Body, who would you like to have sex with? With all of that, it's part of kind of like valuing our soul, valuing our body. In a lot of religions, they deny that body has value. In materialistic world, physical world, a lot of like atheists or people who don't believe in anything other than this is it, this is physical, there is no soul, there is no reincarnation, then they just value the body, but not the being, not the soul. Neither is right, neither is wrong, but it's just a point of view. And here we go again. Point of view creates your reality. And a point of view is just a point of view. If you're looking at something, let's say you're looking at a crystal from one point. Let's say you're looking, like think of a crystal. Do I have a crystals here? No, I don't. But let's say we're looking at the cup. And if you're just listening, I'm holding the cup of water that I have here. So if you're looking from, let's say, from right, you're seeing kind of like a flat, and there is probably like a white stripe, but it's flat. It's two-dimensional. If I'm looking straight, like I'm looking right now, I see a curved handle. I can see the cup. If I look inside, I see the circle. If I look from the bottom, I see the bottom of the cup. I don't see the full cup unless I'm kind of like looking from all sides. That's where the interesting point of view tool comes in. And that probably will be our tool of the week. if there is a problem in your life, and a lot of times when we have problems, it also stems from not valuing us, because we make problem more important than us. Problems never more important. They're just problems. So see your problem in front of you. Might be a person, might be something to do with money, maybe something to do with relationship, maybe something to do with health. If it's somebody else, just look just see that problem in front of you. I'm not going to ask you to destroy a person now. Just look at the problem. And let's now say, interesting point of view. I have an interesting point of view about it. Did it light up a little bit? For me, it did. Now, still looking at that problem, say, we're twisting it a little bit. Interesting point of view, that they have this interesting point of view. Cool. Now we're going to twist it again. Interesting point of view, I have this interesting point of view, that they have this interesting point of view. Whew. How does it feel right now? A little lighter. Let's repeat the exercise. Interesting point of view, I have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view, they have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this interesting point of view, that they have this interesting point of view. Again, it shifted again, because we are looking from different perspectives. Remember in school, if you ever took drawing class, they talk a lot about perspective, from which perspective you're looking. I did, actually, after I quit medicine, I became an artist. I actually graduated from Harper College with Associate in Fine Arts. So I did a lot of drawings. And I remember part of the drawing class, we did the perspective drawing. And we had to pick a point from which we would draw that perspective. It was one point. And every student picked a different perspective point. So we all drew the same thing, the same corridor, the same things in there. And every drawing was different, because we were looking from different points of view. So how many of you are actually not realizing that if you have a problem with a person, and if you're arguing about the same thing, you might just be looking from different perspectives. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just you're looking from different points. So now look at that again. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. They have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view, that they have this interesting point of view. And unless you will be in allowance of them looking at that from that point of view, they cannot move. They will be drawing that picture over and over again from that perspective. And it's time for our third break of the show. And it's a final break. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is Value of You. And it's a final segment of the show. You've been kind of like listening. We've been talking about value, that we have a point of view about the value, and then we talked about perspectives and different issues with that and how we don't value our bodies. So you can listen more about that in the first 3 segments if you're just joining us. Also, this show is every week on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock Eastern, and you can find out about your time on the website. Next week, we'll be talking about, does fear run your life? And with that topic, we'll explore how tools of access consciousness or Akashic Records actually help you to get out of fear. Also, as I said earlier, I'm facilitating a few classes. One of them is a free Zoom on 29th at 9 o'clock, Creating with Your Body. Also, it's going to be one-day class, Being You with the Earth, which is going to be split actually into 3-hour segments over 2 days on August 13 and 14 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm on Central Standard Time, so that's where I will be, and your time in the world is on the website. You can find out more on Creating Abundance with Ease or on accessconsciousness.com webpage. Also, Being You with Body the following weekend on August 20th, 21st from 10 a.m. again till 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, it's one day Being You class split into 2 3-hour segments. I am going to be facilitating a couple of body classes, bars, and foundations in Chicago area, as well as on England and Taiwan has to be moved because those 2 countries are not allowing me to come in without quarantine. Actually, Taiwan will not allow any foreigners in at this moment. And what else is possible? With everything that's going on in the world, it's so important to have your value, kind of like having it and knowing it. Because if you don't, a lot of people go into depression according to everybody else points of view. So with points of view, again, reminder, please, please, please use the tool. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. And that tool actually changes so many things just by you saying that. You don't have to have any intention, any kind of like point of view. Again, intention a lot of times limits things. Just playing in the energy a lot of times allows us more freedom, more choices with everything that's going on. When we look at things, if we look at our value in relationship to other people, that doesn't work, because our value is just by being who we are, not if we have 2.5 kids and the house with the picket fence, or if we have relationship, or if we have certain amount of money in the bank. No, we are valuable by just being there on this planet today, especially if you choose to have value, if you choose to be and choose to contribute by gifting and receiving simultaneously. We have only a few minutes left of the show. I just want to remind you that we'll be back. This is not the end. This is the end of today's show, but it's going to be next week and next week and next week. And as I said, next week will be Does the Fear Run Your Life? And right now, how afraid are you? Are you afraid or not? See, you might not be afraid right now because we did so many interesting point of view. This fear is just another interesting point of view. Even before we go to the next show, you say, oh, but I have anxiety about my job, about money, about things. Even before the show next week, run that interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. They have this interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this interesting point of view. They have this interesting point of view. And see if it changes. And run the meditation. You can listen to that, by the way, on the app anytime you like, because this show will go to podcast on multiple stations, including iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, TV stations, Binge TV, and the app, Inspired Choices Network, ICN app. And you can listen to me or any other podcasters or show on that app, because there is a lot of wonderful shows other than mine as well. And there's going to be also 31 Days No Judgment Zone on Facebook that I'll be doing together with Lale Hancock. And it's just a Facebook group where we'll be popping in separate together and choosing not to have judgments. And how much more fun can we have without judgment? Also with Rachel Silber, we're doing gratitude calls periodically in Being You Without Hiding group. It's not going to be that 31 days. It's going to be periodically, randomly. Just catch us when you can. And by the way, those two Being You classes, I am co-facilitating with Rachel Silber. Just realized I didn't say that. And it's going to be, quick reminder, on 13th, 14th of August and 20th and 21st of August. Join us and just allow yourself to be. You have been listening to me, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network for the whole hour right now. And we will be finishing up with probably just a little meditation. Just again, close your eyes if you're not driving and just allow yourself to breathe in energy of the universe and breathe out gratitude. And just think of anything that you're grateful today. Maybe you have, I'm looking outside and it's a beautiful day in Chicago. Breathe in energy and breathe out gratitude. And thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Till next week. See you soon.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday. at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.